Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Guerilla Sports Daily. Today's episode is brought to you by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants wants to help you save money on your home loan and possibly lower your interest rate. Go to trustedamerican.com and see how much money they can save you.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, indeed. I love that intro music. It's just wakes me up, gets me hyped up, gets me going. How is it going, everybody? Welcome to Guerilla Sports Daily. It's a beautiful day in Colorado. It's going to be a wild day in Colorado. It's a beautiful Thursday, December 19th. We're so close to Christmas. Christmas is almost around the corner. This is crazy. I still have to do a little bit more Christmas shopping. So after the show, I'm hopping on my car and I'm doing some more Christmas shopping with the money I don't have. But you know what? That's what credit cards are for. Anyways, we have so much to talk about today. There's a trifecta going on today. We got Broncos. We have Avalanche, we have Nuggets. It's all happening today and pretty much happening all at the same time. So you know what we're doing today here at the studio? We're going to have you covered. We're basically going to call it Guerilla Central. We're going to be covering Broncos, Avs, and Nuggets following the game and throughout the game. So make sure to check that out on YouTube today. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be having like Liv, Megan. Who else are we having? We're having like just a bunch of people here in the studio. Talking Avs, talking Broncos, talking Nuggets. Make sure to check it out, guys. It's going to be awesome. But today, I'm just going to do some quick previews, and we're going to start local, and then we're going to move on to some international news. But we're going to start off with the Colorado Avalanche visiting the San Jose Sharks. This is going to be a fun one. Have you ever broken up with someone and you have to a few weeks later, you have to interact with them either in class or you have to go to a social setting or something like that? Well, that's exactly what this game is going to end up being. Each team is going to face their former goalie because if you remember, these two teams just had a trade. They basically just swapped goalies. And so it's going to be, I wouldn't say it's going to be awkward, but it's kind of like that where you're like, oh, hey, there's that person we used to interact with on a daily basis. Let's go score on that person. But no, that's exactly what's going to be happening tonight. Avs taking on the Sharks. And Avs struggling a little bit as of late, but also San Jose hasn't really been all that great either this year. Avs facing off their old goalie, Alexander Georgiev. I think he's going to be starting. I don't see why he wouldn't. And also, our goalie, that used to be their goalie, Mackenzie Blackwood, he's also going to be starting for the Avs. But it's kind of weird, right? How do you get revenge as a goalie? It's not like you can go and attack the opposing team. It's you're playing defense the whole time. So I guess just not get scored on is probably the best revenge. So it is kind of weird. It's like a weird dynamic of not being able to stick it to them, but also playing defense. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. But you know what? Who can be a little bit of a problem is former Avs Nikolai Kovalenko, who seems to be thriving after the trade. Of course, he's getting more minutes now because he's very talented. He's very good. The Avs just had him. He was like a extra luxury per se, right? He was just a great player that the Avs were just kind of stashing away. And apparently San Jose really liked him, and he seems to be thriving out there. So watch out for that guy. And Avs defense, make sure to keep him off bay and make sure to remind him hey, we traded you for a reason because you're just not quite there yet. But anyways, Avs taking on the San Jose Sharks. We actually have Jesse Montano out in San Jose. He's going to have you covered post-game. So make sure to check that out as well. That's going to be an 8:30 puck drop, and I think you can watch that on ESPN. Woo! That's going to be a good one. But also, we have another huge game tonight. Another huge game. Broncos taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. That last game by the Broncos, it had us sweating for 3 quarters. For 3 quarters, it seems like nobody wanted to win the game. 24 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to seal the game. Marvin Mims was awesome. He set up the Broncos in great field position to eventually take the lead versus the Colts. And the defense played a whole lot better after that Jonathan Taylor touchdown, which obviously was overturned. It was a touchback. But the defense really held their own after that. Only allowed 3 points after that. Mistake by Jonathan Taylor. So let's hope the Broncos defense can continue to play like the way they've been basically saving us for the past couple games. And also, this is December football. Broncos have a chance to clinch a playoff berth since 2015. So what a year it's been, and also what a turnaround, right? Like last year, we were just kind of hoping to even have a winning season with Russell Wilson, and now here we are with a chance to clinch a playoff berth. I mean, we had a lot of check marks this year, right? It's like, all right, can we be a little bit better than last year? Check. Can we have a winning season, for the first time in a while? Check. Now it's another milestone. Can we clinch a playoff berth? You have 3 games to do this. 3 games. All you have to do is win 2 out of 3. I mean, even if you win 1, yes, you are guaranteed a playoff spot, but it starts with tonight. I think tonight is bigger than the 2 games following the Chargers game, which is the Bengals and Chiefs. If you win tonight, you have a 2-game lead over the Chargers. You have the tiebreaker. So if you end up finishing, with the same record overall at the end of the season, you're obviously going to finish above the Chargers. But tonight is a huge game, and it's also a bit of a revenge game, right? October 13th. I don't know if you remember. Chargers came in here. Patrick Surtain goes down with a concussion, and ultimately the Chargers get a win, 23-16. It was an ugly game. It was an ugly game by the Broncos. There was just no passion, and so hopefully this is a bit of a revenge game for them. Broncos, they're currently on a 4-game win streak. Bo Nix is still growing up before our eyes, and he seems to be getting better every game. Yes, he threw 3 interceptions last game. Yes, he's thrown for, I think it was 5 picks in the past 2 games. But hey, he's still in contention for Rookie of the Year. He's still getting better every game, and he seems to be learning from his mistakes. And again, he's still looking very much like the franchise quarterback. A lot of people decided to start ragging on him for having quite a few interceptions, but also don't forget he had 3 touchdowns against the Colts. But interceptions are part of the game. I don't think you should be freaking out about those interceptions. It's just like it was mostly on him. There was a couple of them where they were scheme interceptions that the Colts got versus Bo Nix, and he's got to watch the tape. He's got to learn from those mistakes because he was baited on multiple throws. One of them was an overthrow where I believe one of the safeties Bo Nix just threw an overthrow, but there was 2 where he was baited. Nick Cross got one where, I believe Cortland Sutton kind of falls down, doesn't really complete his route, and Nick Cross just undercuts that. He was waiting for that, got baited into that one, and also he threw it into double coverage once where linebacker Zaire Franklin just picks it off just right in front. It's almost like Bo Nix just threw it right at him into double coverage. So he's got to fix those mistakes, and I think he will. He seems, you can't expect perfection out of Bo Nix. He's still a rookie, and people are forgetting that very quickly just because of his demeanor on the field. He's so well poised. Even after those interceptions, he comes back and he's still slinging the ball. So I love the confidence of Bo Nix. You can't be overly dramatic on the interceptions. He's going to clean it up. He's a rookie. But the Broncos run game has to help him out. The times where the Broncos have run the ball very well, Bo Nix has been incredibly comfortable. He's had a cleaner pocket. He's been able to see the field a little bit better. He's been able to go through mostly all of his progressions. It's just a matter of him, whenever you're making him throw on a rush, he seems to stare down some of his receivers, particularly Cortland Sutton, who's obviously his favorite receiver right now, and he's most consistent receiver. So if he can kind of clean up some of those things up, I think he's going to be doing great against the Chargers defense, who hasn't been looking very good at all. I think they have like 13 players on injured reserve right now or on the injury list. So they're kind of banged up. So you have a great opportunity to really stick it to the Chargers in their own stadium but also you have a great opportunity to, again, obviously get a win against the Chargers. But the Chargers are coming off a loss versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay lit them up. I mean, it was a very close game that the first half between the Chargers and the Bucs. But after the half, that Chargers defense, Tampa Bay kind of exposed them a little bit. They were able to get deep throws over the middle. They were able to get deep throws in between the seams. So they're susceptible to big plays. It's just give Bo Nix a clean pocket, and I think he'll find those receivers. Just let the play develop. Broncos haven't given up. The Broncos offensive line, has not given up a whole ton of sacks, but that's also due to Bo Nix's ability to escape the pocket and be able to just, create something out of nothing when the play breaks down. But still, you have a great chance to attack this Chargers defense, who, again, number 1 ranked defense, has been very susceptible to explosive plays, especially in the run game. So if you can get the run game going, oh boy, Bo Nix is gonna start feasting. But also on the defensive side, the offensive side for the Chargers, that offensive line they look kind of banged up. They allowed a bunch of sacks on Justin Herbert. Didn't really look very, very comfortable. So if you can make Justin Herbert uncomfortable, this is going to be a great game for Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, who are just, a menace on the outside. If those two can get going and make Justin Herbert make quicker decisions, he's also very susceptible to throwing interceptions. He's a gunslinger out there. He loves to rip it. He loves to throw into tight windows, and he's a gamer. So if you can kind of make him just throw it earlier than he wants to, I think the Broncos have a chance to win this game. This isn't going to be an easy one because they need this game as much as the Broncos do, and it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. Both teams on a short week, and this is the summer football. This is what you build for. This is why you get a franchise quarterback. This is why you have to have organizational structure from top to bottom. And now that we have an owner, the structure in the GM, there's finally a good coach. There's finally a solid quarterback. Funny how things just kind of start working out, right? Like we've had after 2015, just purgatory of just bad football. And it was all because of bad structure within the organization. And here we are. Everything's looking great for the Broncos. And again, just win one out of 3. And if you can get all 3 of them for the next 3 games, that will be even better. Because if you can move up to the 5th seed to go up against the Texans, that is a much favorable matchup as opposed to having to play either Pittsburgh or the Ravens, who are still fighting for that division. So, oh boy. And also, remember, we have you covered post-game after that. Our own Brandon Cristal is out in LA today, and he's going to have you covered for post-game, and he's going to be chiming in from LA post-game. So make sure to check us out. Again, we're so many things happening tonight, and I'm going to keep telling you, check us out post-game for everything Colorado, Denver sports related. Well, let's go Broncos, and let's hope we get a big win. Let's get that playoff berth. All right, moving on to some NBA news. The Denver Nuggets taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Man, excuse me. Remember when this rivalry used to be awesome and used to be cool, used to be competitive? Well, I mean, after Damian Lillard got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, the Portland Trailblazers just haven't been the same. They're in full rebuild mode. And of course, obviously once you trade away your cornerstone piece that, won you a bunch of games, you're going to go through this process, and the Portland Trailblazers are going through it. Now, they're not the worst team in the West right now. They're actually the 3rd worst team in the West. So they're improving a little bit. But it seems like, I mean, to me, if I'm the Portland Trailblazers, you're 8-18 right now. You're the 3rd worst team. You're a very young team. Seems like Anthony Simons is their best player. And that's pretty much all they have that's future worthy, right? You have Jeremy Grant, good power forward, former Denver Nugget. Hasn't really been the same since he left Denver to go chase, the money. He went to, I believe he ended up with the Pistons, and I don't know where he got traded after that, but he ended up at Portland, and he's still, he's an all right player, but I think he's going to end up getting traded. He's been on the trading block or trading rumors, I believe, that also DeAndre Ayton might be on the out. I know he's a very young player, but I don't think Portland wants to keep him, to be honest with you. And I personally wouldn't keep him either. I mean, you got him from the Suns because you thought he was, he can live up to that number one pick, persona or whatever, or that type of talent. Hasn't really turned out that way. In fact, after getting traded from the Suns to Portland, he's gone worse as a player. I mean, he's averaging a double-double, which is, respectable, 14 points, 10 rebounds, but DeAndre Ayton, it's just not it for that franchise. And he just doesn't seem to have that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be playing for the Portland Trailblazers, who are, obviously on the downturn and on the come up or whatever, it's going to take a couple of years. But hey, DeAndre Ayton, this is your opportunity to really step up and be the man and really make, improve your profile as a player. Hasn't really done that. But it seems like he's going to be a game time decision. Seems like he had an illness. So maybe there won't be DeAndre Ayton manning down, in that center position, which could be a benefit for the Nuggets, who have to win this game. Like, you got to keep up in the standings in the West. And I just hope I hope the Nuggets take this game seriously, unlike that game versus the Washington Wizards, where they were just letting them do whatever. So don't take this game as that game. Please don't, Nuggets. Portland has some talented players. They really do. They just haven't been good collectively. Like I said, Jeremy Grant, currently on trade rumors, doesn't really necessarily fit the direction of that team. So there's a lot of like internal turmoil within the Portland Trailblazers of just players just not really wanting to play, particularly Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton, who are just, they're veterans. I'm sure they want to move to a different team. I'm sure they've already probably requested trade requests, but I mean, who are you going to get for those players? I think Jeremy Grant's going to be on his last year of his contract. So is it even worthy for teams to even call about him? I don't know. But Portland Trailblazers, they're struggling. But let's talk a little bit about the Nuggets. Is Jamal Murray back? Sources say he might be. He had one great game last game versus the Kings. He scored 15 points in the fourth quarter and basically was the catalyst to winning that game. I mean, he did get the go-ahead bucket with like 8 seconds to go. He took the shot. Jamal Murray made a shot. And left 8 seconds on the clock. Made it really hard for the Kings to, win that game. But this is Jamal Murray, right? I think this has been the Jamal Murray experience. He's great, and then he's not, and then he's really good, and then he's not again. So for me, it's just like, hey, Jamal Murray, just get ready for the playoffs. If playoff Jamal can come back, I don't care about the regular season. Nobody cares about the regular season other than your record standing at the end of the year. So, Jamal, hopefully you played well tonight. This is a great chance to continue getting your mojo back, getting that shooting stroke that we love so much. Get it going again. This is a great time for a bad Portland defense to do it again. So, hopefully he continues to get well. Jokic is obviously going to continue dominating. Russell Westbrook has been in the starting lineup, and he's been awesome. Seems like he was the reason that the Nuggets got to a super hot start versus the Kings. Christian Brown's not going to be playing. I think he's still dealing with back issues. So I don't know if he might be in the starting lineup. But now that we've seen, the Nuggets kind of start Russell Westbrook, we've seen that it can work. Now it starts to ask the question of, like, should you be starting Russell Westbrook over Christian Brown? And Christian Brown can actually help a struggling bench who's been not very good defensively, because we all know Christian Brown, he's a bit of a two-way player now. Great defensively, got good offensive game. Maybe, it wouldn't be a bad thing for Christian Brown to go back to the bench, and it wouldn't be, I hope he wouldn't get offended by it. I think it would be great for him to continue coming off the bench, but who knows? It's all kind of up in Malone's idea of what this team needs to be as far as like the starting lineup and how this team needs to start. Who knows? Think about it. See how these games go with Russell Westbrook, and hopefully the team continues to evolve with Russell Westbrook either on the bench or on the starting lineup, or with minutes with the starting lineup. But there's something looming right now. Michael Porter Jr. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. He is part of the trade rumors as of late. And let me tell you, get him off the trade rumor block. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. And Nuggets front office, hopefully if you're watching, I'd be so honored if Nuggets front office is watching. But if you are, please don't trade Michael Porter. Please, don't. If you want to do, the rumor's been like the Nuggets are interested in Zach LaVine. Okay, great. Zach LaVine's good. He's former All-Star, but he's not going to make the Nuggets better. This is like offense for offense. You don't need more. The Nuggets don't need more offense. They really don't. They need to improve on their defense. That's been their biggest issue this year, is just their defense has just not been good. I don't know. I don't like this. Listen, MPJ is currently your second best player. He's your best shooter. If you move from MPJ, you lost great perimeter shooting. Zach LaVine is not a great three-point shooter. Like he's good, but he's not, on the elite level of Michael Porter. No, you get rid of size. Michael Porter he's been better on the offensive glass. He's been a better rebounder on the defense. He's tall, he's lanky, like he's beefed up this summer. Like you're getting rid of size, you're getting rid of someone who's 6'10", and you're going to replace him with you're going to replace that small forward position with a shooting guard. I don't know if that's going to work out. And if you do bring in Zach LaVine, now you do actually have to move some pieces around on the starting lineup because he is a shooting guard. He won't play well in that small forward position. He really won't. This is dumb. If the Nuggets go through with this is going to be a dumb move. I don't know. Also, MPJ he's been great, but also I don't know if teams actually want to take on Michael Porter's medical history with his back issues and some of the surgeries that he's had. Granted, the Nuggets, that gamble for the Nuggets has worked out because, they had the opportunity to take that gamble. I don't know if other teams are willing to take on that gamble, but also from the Nuggets, I wouldn't get rid of him. Again, I would not get rid of him. I would get rid of other players other than Michael Porter. Here's your untouchables: MPJ, Jokic, and obviously Murray, because you can't trade him. Everyone else, or even Gordon. Your core four. Now, granted, next year, Jamal might be on the trading block again because you can finally trade him, but who knows? If Jamal Murray has a great postseason, you might not have to move away from him. But no, stop with the Zach LaVine for MPJ trade rumor. I don't like it. It wouldn't work. You're going to make your defense worse, and also you're going to get worse at three-point shooting, which has been the two things that the Nuggets have struggled with, including rebounding. They're not a very good rebounding team. Michael Porter has actually helped in that aspect. So Zach LaVine, not a very good rebounder as well, and also just undersized. He's about 6'5". He's a big guard, but it just you're trading away something for something that you already have. So Nuggets are a great offensive team. You don't need more offense. See if you can bolster that bench, and see if you can get some actual defensive pieces to not allow that bench to continuously get outscored every time that Jokic is off the floor. So I don't like it. Come on, Nuggets. Think of something better, because this isn't going to work. Don't trade Michael Porter, please. It's not because we're Nuggets fans or whatever, have become accustomed to him. It just doesn't make sense to move away from him. That's all I'm saying. All right. Sticking to some NBA news, but also not so good news. Charlotte Hornets are actually in the news recently, and not for the good reasons. They've actually just changed their mascot. So this is what the mascot used to look like. Let's see. So that's what the mascot used to look like. And so recently they changed it to this mascot. You're probably wondering, like, what's happening? So anyways, the Charlotte Hornets organization, they're facing some backlash, especially on social media, because they did a skit, stunt, whatever you want to call it. It kind of went wrong on Monday night versus the Philadelphia 76ers. So get this, like you're a season ticket holder, you take your son, they tell you, hey, you're going to be midcourt for like this skit, whatever, during halftime, timeout, whatever. And during the game, the kid gets awarded a PlayStation 5. Ooh, wait, I love me some PlayStation 5. I still haven't got one, but hey, he got one, right? He got one midcourt. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Kid is happy, goes off screen, right? And, later, their dad and son are sitting, with their PlayStation in their seats, and all of a sudden, representatives of the Charlotte Hornets entertainment team come up to them, and they're like, hey, we need to take that PlayStation 5 back. for a signed jersey. No, thank you. And ultimately, there was nothing they could do, so they had to give that PlayStation 5 back. But they got, I mean, Charlotte Hornets right now, they're a bunch of Grinches. They're literally being called, the Grinches of the East. And so Charlotte had to basically put out a statement. Says, quote, during last night's game, there was a on-court skit that missed the mark. You think? The skit included bad decision-making and poor communication, Hornets said in a statement. Quote, simply put, we turned the ball over and we apologize. We have reached out to the family and are committed to not only making it right, but exceeding expectations. We will be providing the fan with the PlayStation 5 that should have been taken home that night. And they're also going to give him a VIP experience to a future game. And quote also says, our goal is to elevate the guest experience for every person that enters our arena. Boy, oh boy. Wrong move, Hornets. That was dumb. I feel bad for that kid. But hey, at least he's getting his PlayStation 5. At least, they're making it right. But man, this is not right, man. That's not right. I mean, because I couldn't find the video, but I did watch it. That kid was so happy when he got that PS5. He was like, you should have seen his face. I would have hated to be that person to tell that kid, I have to take this back. Oh, it would have hurt my soul. It would have hurt me so bad. But thanks for making it right, Hornets, because that's not cool, man. The Grinches of the East. You talk about being cheap. Come on, guys. I know you guys are a bad team and probably no one goes to your games, but come on, a PS5 is probably like $5 to you guys. Come on now. But thanks for making it right. All right. Well, anyways, we have some Formula One news. I've been saying this for a while. I've been covering this story for a while, and it finally happened. Sergio Checo Perez and Red Bull have officially agreed to part ways. Oh, man. I saw this coming. I told y'all. You know what's weird about the story is like Sergio Perez got an extension through 2026, 2025, 2026. So they did it in the middle of the season while he was kind of struggling and obviously did not perform very well after he had a crash in Monaco. It just wasn't the same. I don't know if he lost his confidence. I don't know if they just couldn't rebuild the car right. He was just awful the second half of the season. I've been saying this. He might lose his seat. And sure enough, they decided to part ways. There's just probably a lot of information that just hasn't been made public yet. I know Red Bull and Checo Perez have been discussing, the departure and things like that. I'm sure Red Bull did not want it to continue with Checo Perez despite extending him, but there has to be a buyout of some sort. But it kind of sucks, I mean, he had a pretty good career. Who knows? Maybe Checo Perez will be back in Formula One now that they're adding 2 more teams, in a couple years or so. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of him. Maybe he's a reserve driver, but as of right now, he doesn't have a seat. And I told y'all it's because of his performance later in the year. Red Bull driver Liam Lawson is expected to be announced as Perez's replacement in the coming days. But you know what? Perez had a good time with Red Bull. He finished second in the Drivers' Championship in 2023, third in 2022, and unfortunately this year he finished 8th. So, he went from really good to really bad. Maybe finishing 8th and just him not being very good throughout the year. Maybe that's probably why Red Bull decided to move away from him and give Liam Lawson, who, has shown promise, give him a shot. But hey, five wins with Red Bull, a phenomenal, illustrious win back in 2022 in the Monaco Grand Prix. It was probably his highlight of his career. But that's it. Yeah. Hey, feel bad for Sergio Perez, but you know what? You had a great career, and you made a ton of money with Red Bull. So, hey, kudos to you, Sergio Perez. We're going to miss you, and good luck to you in whatever you want to do. All right, well, that's going to do it for Guerilla Sports Daily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I got the Dutch Master back there. Jay, show yourself. Oh, look at that mustache. Ooh, looking so. Ooh, stop it. Love that guy. Anyways, all right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. My name is Ruben Villalobos, and make sure to check us out on YouTube tonight. like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. See ya.